the personification of evil, devoid of compassion, built on self-centeredness. These are all phrases that could be used to describe 79-year-old Andrew Watson. Although he may look to many as an innocent elderly man, he has in fact committed the most evil of crimes, including the gruesome murder of grandmother of two, Lise Fredette. Lise Fredette was last seen November 12, 2014 after leaving her shift at Walmart. As time progressed without communication, her loving family became increasingly concerned and eventually contacted authorities to report her missing. After some inquiries, the police department of Peterborough, Canada, arrested Andrew Watson and performed a search of his house, car, and belongings. This search would reveal vital pieces of evidence consisting of Lise Fredette's blood on a shovel in Andrew's garden, on the bumper of his car, and on his driveway. Andrew was later questioned, and this is the video and the analysis of the interrogation.
I want to share a couple of things with you to show you that I'm here to give you some info. Okay? This isn't all about, me wanting info from you. You asked me a couple of things earlier, and I want to address them for you. Okay?
Before this excerpt of the interrogation, the detective engages in what could be described as an informal chat with Andrew, and he refrains from confronting the suspect. Instead, the detective decides to relax Andrew and even offer him some food. He goes through this process in an attempt to establish a rapport and gain Andrew's trust. He hopes the result of this rapport will get Andrew talking and answering questions that his legal advice would have previously recommended him not to answer.
You asked me first of all, how do we know she's even missing and when she went missing? That's what you asked me, right? Is that what you asked me earlier? Does that make sense?
No, I just said to you I didn't know she was at the time. I didn't know she was missing.
No, but I mean, I'm telling you now from a police perspective as we move forward, we know she's missing. I've told you why, in that there's been no activity on her bank account. Nobody has heard from her. She hasn't phoned anybody. She hasn't reached out to contact anybody. Her car has not moved. It was like in her driveway. She was there. Family hasn't heard from her. She hasn't made withdrawals on her bank. She hasn't shown up for work. That's like somebody just dropped off the face of the earth. And we all know people don't do that. We are creatures of habit. We have our routines, right? Okay. When you say to me, how do we know some of these things and how can I draw the conclusion that I believe, something bad has happened to her, I want you to look at that picture, okay? Now, first of all, I'll start with this one. Where is that?
That's her driveway.
Exactly. Okay. And whose car is that?
That's her car.
Right.
That's a new one. Pretty new.
Yeah, it looks fairly new, right? But here's the thing. So
you
when
know she paid about 43,000 for that.
43,000 for that car?
Yeah. It's got all the bells and whistles.
Is that the one you drove to Quebec?
Oh no.
That's
well,
a nice car.
She had an old Camry, but it was in really good shape.
That's a nice car.
But she had an accident with the Camry and it was a write-off.
Oh, okay.
So she got this one.
Well, that is a nice car, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So one of the things I want you to notice there, and I'm just telling you things that I know from my observations now as we're investigating this, right? See that right there?
Yeah.
That's blood.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We'll start there, okay? But this is her house, this is her entrance, right? It looks familiar to you, right? Because you've been there before.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the back of her car.
Yeah.
Because see this little piece here?
Yeah.
That would be along here, or down the
No,
side.
down here.
Right. See that?
Yeah.
What's
yeah,
that?
That's blood.
That's blood. Okay.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, so am I, right?
Yeah.
But from my standpoint, between that at the front of the car and this at the back of the car, that's what I would refer to as a significant amount of blood.
Foul play.
Yeah, foul play.
Indicated foul play.
Absolutely right. Because that's not a cut finger.
No.
That's not a stub toe.
No.
That's significant, okay? There's a lot of things I can read into when I look at that, okay? So when I see those things. Then you look at that picture. So you obviously know that picture is along here now, right?
Which one?
See this picture here? right?
This,
Where is that in relation to this?
This picture here is there.
Exactly. Okay. See her keys? See an earring.
I'll take your word for it.
Yep.
You know.
Okay.
They took my glasses away from me.
Okay. Well, right here is her car key, her house key, and right here is an earring.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a sign of a struggle. You can see how everything's kind of tossed up, and there's the edging of the blood right there. Right.
Yeah.
Now, that's not normal. We know she didn't go in the house. We know her things are lying there. Okay. There's another picture which is along the edge here.
Yeah.
That's her glasses, laying on the ground. It indicates a sign of a struggle.
Oh yeah.
Tells us that there was a struggle there.
Yeah.
Okay? And we've got the blood
Did you see that our glasses are here?
right there.
That's her glasses.
That's her glasses right there. Okay. So that indicates to me a sign of a struggle.
Yeah.
Plus we've got the bleeding at the front of the car, we've got the bleeding at the back of the car,
Yeah.
and it's right at the entrance where she would be getting into her door.
Yeah.
How do I know that this day is the day she went missing? The 12th of November, which is a Wednesday, she was working. And she was working at Walmart.
Yeah.
So we've already verified that she worked her shift that day,
Mm-hmm.
and we verified what time she ended her shift and went home. So we know that she was alive all day. People spoke to her, people saw her,
Mhm.
people interacted with her, and people watched her leave work. Okay? So we know she left, and we presume, because her car's in the driveway, she eventually went home.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how we know this day, because on the next day, the 13th, she didn't show up for work. Number one, which is unusual for her. Right? She didn't go to work on the 13th. So that caused people some concerns. Family members didn't hear from her. Nobody could locate her. And this is what people found when they went to her house.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put, she goes to work, she leaves work, she heads home. People see this, police arrive and see this. We have evidence of blood. She doesn't go to work the next day. And from this day forward, she's never been seen or heard from again. So we can conclusively say that sometime during the evening hours of the 12th or into the early morning hours of the 13th,
Yeah.
something happened to her,
Mhm.
and that's when she went missing. So that's how we know. For that part of it. Make sense? You understand, like, investigatively wise, how we're looking at it, right? So some of the things we're looking at is this. I know that there was a struggle here. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The blood tells me that. The glasses, the keys, and the earring tell me there's a struggle there.
You have just listened to the detective set out the scene of the attack, identify that there was certainly a struggle, and begin to reveal the evidence they have against Andrew. The detective reveals said evidence in a very structured way. He will exaggerate the reliability and the amount of evidence to an extreme level. He will also overvalue his evidence. For example, the quality of the CCTV images and the number of cameras present at the scene of the crime. This is a wise tactic, as Andrew will become panicked and anxious. He will therefore be more susceptible to further strategies used in the future. It will also mean that later on in the interrogation, when the detective fully confronts Andrew and stacks up the evidence in front of him, he is more likely to believe resistance is a waste of energy and confess to his crime.
This is one of the things that we're now doing, and it started today. Do you remember when 9/11 happened in the United States?
Uh-huh.
The Twin Towers got
Uh-huh.
the terrorists,
Mhm.
okay? Ever since that day, the United States Department of Homeland Security, NASA, the American military, invested billions of dollars into satellite imagery.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they did that was to try and prevent the attack of terrorist activities in the future. Because one of the questions they had was, how could we not see this coming? How could we not see a rogue plane coming? All these different things. As in anything, a lot of things that we do in the world are reactive to tragedies. So they enhanced billions of dollars into satellite imagery. And so what these satellites do now, They're orbiting 24/7 and they're snapping pictures
Mhm.
all the time. We have realized that law enforcement, police, only certain agencies have access to it. We can access those satellite imageries by contacting the Department of Homeland Security in the United States. And we have to have what we call a criteria offense. So it has to be serious. Treason, homicides, or attempt homicides. They won't look at it for anything else. Okay. We also have to be very specific and give them either an address, and if we have an address, obviously we can give them latitude and longitudinal coordinates. You're a smart man, you understand what latitude and longitude is? Okay.
You know, MNR was using that years ago
Absolutely, right? So that's why you would know about it.
to measure trees and forests and the makeup of the forest and the age of the trees and the health of the trees.
Even today with GPS and plotting and GPS coordinates still go right to latitude and longitudinal coordinates because even in aviation, right, they still have to be able to fly over and find that spot on the Earth because latitude and longitude stays consistent the world over. That spot will always be there, right? Started today. The request has gone into the Department of Homeland Security, okay? We've provided them an address and we've provided them with the latitude and the longitudinal coordinates for her house. We know a struggle happened here on this driveway. Something happened, okay? When we put the request in, what happens now is they punch those coordinates into the database, access the satellite that was over the Earth at that point in time, and download the images, okay? They download the images are forwarded to us. We know when she left work. So now we have kind of a starting point to say, I don't need to see everything on the 12th. I just need to see from, say, 7 o'clock in the evening on. So give me from 7 o'clock in the evening all the way into the 13th the next day, right? I know in that time frame, I will capture this struggle on the driveway, okay? The request has gone in. It's going to take time for me to get those pictures back because it's a massive database and the request has gone into the Department of Homeland Security. They will download the images, they will send them to us. And when that happens, I will then have an opportunity to have an investigator sit and go through the images. These images that come in are phenomenal because they're military grade. Okay, it's based on NASA premises, and so like I've had success in other cases where I've been able to focus down in on the make and model of a car. The quality is that good. Okay, that's one thing that's happening right now. Okay, the other thing that's happening right now since we're here is I've been to her house. I know where it's located. Okay, and one of the things I know is that when I go to her house...
These are good pictures, by the way.
They're not bad, eh?
Yeah, very good.
They're very good. The quality of pictures that are going to come in off that satellite will make those look like child's play. It's incredible what you're going to get. It's incredible what we can see.
Do you think I could ask you for another cigarette?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get you another cigarette. There's a street view of where she lives. Okay? Where's her house on there?
I wish they hadn't taken my glasses.
I can assist you if you can't see.
Anyway. Her house would be round about where this green thing is.
What road does she live on? Bennisford?
Densford.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's Bennisford right there.
This is River Road and Densford Road. That's a very bad corner, by the way.
I know, I was there. Doesn't
Very
look like a
bad
good corner. Thank you. So here's the thing. I went to her house. I stood in her driveway. I looked around. What do you think I saw?
No idea.
Big cemetery over here.
Oh yeah.
Highland Park. Massive. Big gates.
Yeah.
Like, we used to
go walking there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful spot. Right over here, a couple of doors down from her house, is a daycare being run out of a house. Right? Right over here is a big school. Just down the street.
Yeah.
Just down from the school, before you get back to the intersection, is a variety store, convenience store. what do all of those things have in today's day and age? Cameras.
Yeah.
They all have cameras. It's the world we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has cameras now for security reasons. Insurance, protect their own property, trying to prevent vandalism. Schools, new legislation was passed because of a couple of tragic incidents that happened, where they installed cameras at all the schools that focus out on the streets and the crosswalks, so that when kids are walking, in case there's an accident, in case there's an abduction, we want to be able to see vehicles. We want to be able to see people walking. Variety stores have cameras shooting out onto the street in the parking lots in case people grab things out of the store, shoplifting and run away. People arriving at the store for robberies, break and enters, thefts. This cemetery, the whole laneway is cameraed to capture vehicles coming in and out. Anybody that wants to do damage. They have a beautiful big building in there. It's all cameraed, right? Like, it's just the world we live in. This daycare, oh my word, cameras, because they're caring for children.
Yeah.
So, for insurance reasons, they have cameras there in case, abduction, some parent shows up that's not supposed to show up, a child wanders off, at least you got something to start with, right? I have officers at every one of these locations, as you and I speak, accessing and downloading all the data for the 12th of November into the 13th of November, because she lives right on that corner. So now we're accessing all those cameras. We're accessing everything. Okay. Now, when I look at those cameras, when I look at the satellite imagery that's coming in, okay, and that's why I want to ask you this question. So on the evening of the 12th of November, so we're getting into the nighttime, after 7 o'clock at night, maybe even into the early morning hours of the 13th, but we're talking about that Wednesday night into the next day when she went missing. Is there any reason you can think of why, when I download these images from all this video footage and have a look at it, or when my satellite images come and arrive, okay, is there any reason you can think of why I'm going to see you or your vehicle in that area? And I just wanted to ask you that now, because maybe there's some logical reason that you were there or in that area that I'm not aware of, that we should talk about and clear up now, so that I don't have to come back and do it later. Any reason you can think of why I'm going to see you or your vehicle? No. Okay. And that's why I thought I'd ask now, right? Because this is just a matter of probably hours away. Yeah. Right?
Well, according to you, you've got it made.
What's that?
According to you, you've got it made.
Well,
it's just a question of time.
Yeah, it is a question of time, right? So, but that's why I wanted to ask you if there's any reason you can think of.
I've got nothing to say. That lawyer's going to be mad at me.
No, but I'm just wondering
for talking to you.
Is there any reason you can think of why we would even see you there?
I don't know what to answer any questions at all.
Okay. All right. But I just wanted you to understand that's one of the things we're working on. Okay, so I wanted to give you some info. I wanted to share it with you.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Because it looks as if you're definitely going to have this wrapped up pretty soon.
The other thing that we're working on is you asked about your car. Okay. You have a Subaru. What year is your car?
2010.
2010.
I bought it brand new.
Yeah.
Paid cash for it.
Yeah. No, it's a nice car. It's in good shape.
The fuel consumption is terrible.
Is it?
Just awful.
Okay.
Which I suppose makes sense. If a motor's got to drive 4 wheels, it's going to use more gas than a motor that just has to drive 2 wheels.
Yeah.
Every time the detective brings up a new topic, like the cemetery near Lise Fredette's house, or his new car, you will notice that Andrew will constantly try to steer the conversation away from the evidence surrounding Lise Fredette's murder, and instead towards a more light-hearted and less confrontational topic, in this instance, the fuel consumption of his new car. Andrew is doing this in search of a rest, and also due to the fact that he is fearful of what else is to come. The detective eventually recognizes Andrew's strategy and does not allow him to take control of the interrogation or have a rest.
Are you aware, and I'm sure you are, because you're very, very well read, You're a smart guy. Planes that go down, planes that go missing, right? I mean, remember that Air India jet that went down?
Yeah.
And I don't think they've ever still recovered recovered the wreckage. Remember that one? Just this past summer, I think it was?
There was one went down over Lockerbie in the 1980s that they haven't got that figured out yet. That's the RCMP that's working on that.
Yeah. But whenever a plane crashes and goes down, what is the one thing that they want to recover first and foremost?
The black box.
Exactly. Why do they want the black box?
Because it records the activity of the plane when it went down.
Exactly. Were you aware that cars also have their version of a black box installed in the computer modules?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. They do. So what happens is, in serious cases like this, when we seize a car forensically, okay, and we have to go through it forensically, so, you know, we're looking for blood and fibers and hair, but when we suspect or believe that a vehicle has been utilized, one of the things that we do is we do a forensic examination on the black box, the computer module that's installed in the car, that retrieves and holds data as to where that car's been. It's like a built-in GPS.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it provides us with speed, braking, acceleration, stops, starts, but it also provides us with coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's built right into the car. Dealers can access it. Us, through our investigative tools now, we can access the data as well. Okay, so that's one of the other things that's happening with your car right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
But that was not on the search warrant.
what's that?
That was not mentioned in the search warrant.
I know that. I know that. I'm
So that might be considered to be fruit of the poison tree.
It's possible, but I still have to look at it because it's a murder, right?
Mm.
It's possible, absolutely.
Anyway,
But is there any reason you can think
no
of
matter.
when we download that
No,
data?
No, I got no answers for you at all.
Okay, but that's why I have to ask the questions,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Is there any reason you can think of why that data is going to show your car there?
Any questions? Okay.
Well, then I just want you to understand what we're working on
Yeah.
and what we're doing, okay? So you're aware of
Mhm.
what's going on. Because I think it's important for you to know.
Yeah.
I think it's important for you to understand what we're working on as investigators.
Uh-huh.
I think you have every right to know that. You're the one sitting here under arrest. Make
Mhm.
sense?
I still don't know why they don't just let me go home and stay at home where I would be comfortable. Because I'm certainly not going to be going anywhere or doing anything.
Right. You recognize that?
Yeah, that's my car.
That's your car. Okay.
Mhm.
The detective now moves on to the more damning pieces of evidence, and the main reason why Andrew was later convicted. Andrew's lack of knowledge of forensic evidence is quite alarming, as he seems to not realise that the police can identify a plethora of things via DNA profiling.
And that's your carport?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What was that a picture of?
Looks like an exhaust tailpipe.
Yeah, and it's actually this one over here. I just want to show you. It's this one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this is a close-up
Uh-huh.
of this exhaust pipe.
Mhm.
So the way that vehicle's facing right now, that would be the driver's side.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you agree that's your car?
Mm-hmm.
That's your carport?
Yep.
Okay. So this is this blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
It's blood. This is back here on your tailgate. It's a close-up, okay, on the tailgate.
Yeah.
Okay, that's blood.
Mm-hmm.
This, it's kind of dark, but it's what we call the pillars.
Yeah.
So this is the driver door, passenger door. On the passenger side, there's blood there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I've done is, that's blood, and that's blood
Uh-huh.
on your car.
Mm-hmm.
Whose blood do you think that is?
No idea. But I told the police right at the beginning, right on the day they took me away on Thursday, I told them if they wanted blood, I would give them blood.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they could compare it to this blood.
Is there any, like, is it logical? Would that be your blood? Have you cut yourself?
Yeah, I cut myself here.
Okay, and how'd you do that?
I did it with a chisel.
A chisel?
Yeah.
Okay, what?
And I explained all this to Dan LeMay.
Okay.
I even showed him what I was working on when it happened, and showed him how it happened and everything else. He actually helped me.
Did he? Okay. Now, after you cut your hand, did you touch your car?
I must have.
Okay. No, and that's why I'm asking, right? Because I mean that would bleed pretty good, and you're right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
So it would make sense that you would open doors with your right hand, things like that, right?
I can only assume that this blood got on the car, but I'm
That would
assuming
make
that.
that would
I
make
don't
sense,
know.
right?
It's the only thing I can think of.
Is there any reason you could think of why that would be
I don't know.
her blood?
I
Jesus'
don't-
blood.
I have no idea.
It's her blood.
Oh, it's her blood.
It is.
Oh, yeah. Well, it looks to me like you've got everything wrapped up.
You're a very logical man. You're a very smart man.
I'm not a very smart man at all.
You are.
Quite sure if you tested my intelligence, it would, at best, it would be average.
Well, what I mean by that is this. You are a very logical person. And so I don't want to sit here, and play any type of games with you.
Uh-huh.
I want you to understand why you're here, because I think you deserve to be treated with respect and courtesy,
Yeah.
just the same way you've treated me here today,
Yeah.
which I appreciate. I'm telling you right now that that's her blood on your car,
Uh-huh.
okay? But I'm also prepared to back it up because you're such a smart man. That's the report from the Center of Forensic Sciences that you may have a look at and read, which is not my opinion. It is their opinion that they have done the scientific tests and they have verified the fact that it's her blood on your car. And you can read through that, take your time. Or I can read it to you. Would you like me to read it to you?
I don't have my glasses. They've
Want me to get
taken
them for you?
No, I don't need to read that. I'll take your word for
Okay. That's her blood on your car.
it. Okay.
Okay? So I just want you to be aware of that.
Mhm.
Okay? You haven't seen her since the Saturday before she went missing.
That's right.
So she hasn't been in your car because she hasn't been anywhere near your car. And yet her blood is on your car. How does that happen?
I don't know.
You do know. That's the thing.
No idea.
We're at a point right now where this isn't a what happened to her. This isn't a whodunit. Okay, we know she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're responsible. But there's still some, the big question is the why. That's the only answer we have left is the why did this happen? It's not did you do it. We know you did, okay? This is only one set of scientific testing
Mhm.
that's happened. There's more scientific testing going on as we speak,
Mhm.
plus all the pictures, plus all the images.
Mhm.
You can see where this is going.
Mhm.
This is all coming to one great big massive head, okay? The evidence takes me where I need to be, and I have her blood all over your car.
Mhm.
I have a lady that's missing that hasn't been seen since the 12th. I have a sign of a struggle in her driveway where there's blood on her driveway and obvious signs of a struggle. There's blood at your house,
Blood in my house.
right?
Well, there'll be blood all over my house.
Right.
Because I'm always bleeding.
Right.
But it'll be my blood.
Okay,
It sure as hell is not Lizzie's blood in my house.
but it's on your car.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's science. It's right there. It's on your car. Okay. And you know what? Even down to it's on your exhaust. Low. Okay. Here's the thing. We're at this point where you know exactly what happened to her. Now,
At this point, most of the evidence is revealed, and the detective decides to fully confront Andrew and step up the interrogation. Going forwards, the detective will attempt to keep Andrew's morale and confidence as low as possible to stop any potential denial or resistance. A clever way that the detective will subconsciously reinforce the fact that Andrew is believed to be the culprit is by shifting the focus of the interrogation from finding the murderer to body retrieval. This changing of wording does not offer Andrew the chance to dispute the detective's claims and build up his confidence.
the way I have to look at it is, and I do look at it like this, do I think for one moment that you planned all this? Absolutely not. Do I think for one moment that you woke up one day and said that I'm going to harm her and take her life? No, I don't think that at all. Okay? But the fact is, it did happen.
I love her.
I know you do. So help us bring her back. Because there's family.
If you're convinced she's dead, you're not going to bring her back.
No, but you know what? You know as well as I do, there's grandkids and a daughter and a son that would like her remains.
And the brother.
That would like her remains.
Yeah.
Okay?
Anyway,
And I know you
it
love
looks
her,
to me like you've got this all wrapped up.
but I want her.
Oh,
I want her back. People deserve that, and you know that.
I cannot answer any more questions at all.
But you can. You absolutely can, because you can make up your own mind.
The lawyer told me not even to speak to you, but being the kind of guy I am, I don't mind speaking to you.
You've been a gentleman.
But
You've been respectful. You've been
you're
cooperative.
just telling me that you can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that I killed Lise Fredette. This is what you're telling me, right?
I'm telling you that
So
this evidence supports the allegations.
There's no point in us talking any more about this.
Well, there's
As
actually...
far as I could see, you've got this whole thing wrapped up.
But you already knew that coming in here. You already knew that you're the person who's responsible. I didn't need to tell you that.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with the science that the blood is there. You want to know what the numbers are? The numbers are 1 in 26 trillion that it's anybody else's but hers. Okay? A quadrillion, I should say. The thing is...
I would dispute that.
That you will have an opportunity to dispute that.
Anyway,
But how are you going to dispute it?
I am not qualified.
Sorry?
I am not qualified to do blood analysis or anything like that.
And nor am I, and that's why the scientists will come in, because it's not my opinion. It's the scientists that will come in and say, this is what they do for a living. And then there's all the images that are coming, all the cameras that are being downloaded.
Mm-hmm. You got it made.
Well, what are you going to say then? You're going to look at the community, you're going to look at the family, you're going to look at everybody, and then what are you going to say?
I'm going to say I didn't do this.
So, and everybody's going to look at an image, everybody's going to hear about the DNA, everybody's going to read the results,
Yeah.
and you're still going to stand there and say, I didn't do it?
I don't know what I'm going to say till I speak to a lawyer.
The detective recognizes that Andrew is starting to close off and is reluctant to answer any more questions. Therefore, a change of approach is needed. His new approach involves decreasing the severity of the crime by suggesting it was an accident or blaming the victim for provoking the suspect. This is done because both of these processes make appalling crimes with severe consequences easier to confess to. The detective may also offer a suspect the chance to salvage some of his reputation by confessing or revealing where the body is.
I'm being very candid with you. There's no surprises here. This isn't a who did it. The questions are why. I don't believe, like I said, I don't believe you're a monster. I don't believe you're some type of evil. Okay? I think it happened. I think it happened fast. It may even have been an accident. And then, but when accidents happen, people can panic. And people
When
can
accidents happen, people what?
can panic
Oh,
and react in such a fashion where they make decisions, right? That's quite possibly what we have here. Maybe she was the aggressor. Maybe you were defending yourself. But the fact is, she ended up in the state she's in, okay? Now, I've been candid with you with what we have, what we've been working on thus far. There's more coming. I think you deserve that. You're the one facing the allegations. You wanted to know why you were here, so I told you why you're here. I think that's fair. You need to hear that. I have no problem telling you that, okay? But the one thing I do know is that none of that comes as a surprise to you. You're well aware of why you're here, okay? It's human nature. I get it. It's human nature to understand and realize I'm facing murder charges. Why would I want to talk about it? I get it. But the fact is, the evidence is speaking for you. The evidence is there.
yeah.
Right?
I had no problem speaking to the police on that day when it was Thursday.
Yeah.
They were there from lunch to about 1 o'clock, so 6:30 or something. And I answered all their questions, spoke to them about it.
There's a witness who sees you driving away that night. You're not at home all night.
Oh, well, there you are. You've got it made.
Okay. Plus the blood on the car.
Plus your GPS, plus all these cameras all over the place.
Right.
I don't know why you're even wasting your time talking to me.
Oh, it's never a waste of time to talk to you.
Oh, wow.
It's never a waste of time. Okay? See, because you have an opportunity right now to tell me your side of what happened. It's tragic. It happened. It cannot be reversed, and we know that. We all make mistakes in life. We've all done things that we regret. You're in a position where, like I said, you now have an opportunity to say, Scott, this is what happened. If you have remorse, if you feel bad, if you feel guilty, you have an opportunity.
Yeah, but the lawyer told me not to speak to you.
And that is fair, but you can also speak to yourself.
Yeah, but why would I have a lawyer to advise me and then ignore what he advises? That would be kind of stupid, wouldn't it?
No, I can't comment on that at all because people can make up their own mind. You indicated earlier, what if the lawyer wasn't smart enough to do what you wanted him to do? Those were your words earlier. What if he didn't know to object? What if he didn't know what he was doing?
Yeah.
So you're a very smart man to know that you can also
And you
speak
know
for
you're-
yourself. Maybe you came home and found her in the driveway because somebody else knocked her out and you panicked and you thought, I need to get rid of the remains. Whatever spin you want to put on it, let's go get her.
Maybe it was a home invasion.
Maybe. But
But nobody ever
did they use your car?
Nobody, I don't know.
Did your car go missing?
I don't.
Did you lend it to anybody?
Not that I know of, but somebody could have stolen it.
Do you think it's possible somebody took your car?
I have no idea.
I'm just asking. what
I
you think.
told you I sit in the house reading it all the time.
But we have a witness that says you left that
Okay,
night.
okay. Good for you. You've got it all wrapped up. Why do you keep going on?
Because I would like to bring Lee's
Well,
back
bring
to her
bring
family.
her back or whatever. Do whatever you like. Just don't involve me. The lawyer told me not to even talk to you. I should have been talking to you all this time.
You know that you're involved, so how can I step back and not involve you? You're a logical man, you know that. Okay? That's the one thing that you're conflicted with right now is the fact that you are so logical and you are so...
I'm not conflicted at all.
Then I've underestimated you.
The only thing that's bothering me is these conditions that I'm under.
Do you understand you're under arrest for murder?
I understand
You
that.
understand-
You understand these conditions?
You're in a jail cell.
Eh?
You're in a jail cell.
These are terrible conditions, for God's sake. For somebody who supposedly is innocent, has not been convicted of any crime,
That's right.
to have to put up with these conditions is just abominable.
Well, then let's talk about, responsibility. Who's responsible
I'm
for
finished
this?
talking to you. Can you not understand that? I don't want to talk to you anymore. Period. End of discussion.
Andrew Watson carried on his nonchalant and heartless attitude towards the situation throughout his trial, shown by the reported dialogue between the judge and Andrew. Mr. Watson, the road is now over for you. If you have a heart, sir, I would strongly suggest you speak, to put closure to this, so the family can lay this very kind, compassionate woman to her proper rest. No thanks. Andrew Watson was sentenced to 25 years to life, and unfortunately, Lise Fredette's body has never been found.